TENET's Vidyo service and progress and future plans for going forward. Thank you, guys. Over to you.
Hi, good morning. I won't keep you from your lunch too long. As Amanda says, I'm Rob Bristow. I'm the manager of TENET's video service, and Wesley here is someone that helps me, and will be telling you later about some of the support arrangements for video. First of all, can I just get a sense of who's actually got familiarity with video? Who's actually used it? Okay, so a few people. The rest of you haven't. Okay, I'm just going to run through some of the basics of it and why we're doing it and what it does for us, and then go on to tell you about some of the new things that are coming and show you some of the use cases and so explore some of the ways you can use it. This is supposed to. Well, I think there we go. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, so I'm on secondment from the UK NREN organisation, JISC. As you can probably tell, I'm a Brit. Just wondering when the pound is going to hit parity with the rand. Slightly worrying. And Wesley is he's an intern network engineer and works very closely with our network engineers and handles a lot of the day-to-day stuff. We've also got Michelle, also from TENET in the corner there, who runs the SOC office in at WITS up here in Gauteng. So we're going to have a look at the video conferencing service and how it can support the work you do, and also provide updates on further developments that are coming down, recent developments and things that are coming down the track, and also how to access the service if you're not already using it, and how to get support. So the sort of question is, why is TENET in the business of providing a video conferencing service? It's partly that video conferencing has changed a lot since maybe some of you may have last looked at it. The new software-based cloud-type services available, new architectures of video and audio routing that make the whole thing much easier. Also much more power on endpoints like laptops, mobile devices. New codecs, new ways of encoding video and audio and routing it, and also these modern approaches have the options for integrating your existing Polycom or life size or whatever units, so you don't have to rip them out and start again. We also like the product, the approach, because it works with off-the-shelf hardware and existing infrastructure, and we now also have a robust network in place. And this is one of the other reasons, was to reduce costs for the institution. So if we provide an infrastructure centrally, you don't all have to go out and buy MCUs and things. So problems with old school conferencing, the standards-based conferencing of days of yore, it was expensive. You needed proprietary codecs and MCUs, which were very expensive, gobbled a lot of money and a lot of energy and the space in your data center. It's inflexible. Generally, they lacked a decent desktop client, so you were really limited to the room where the video conferencing was set up. And also, they just didn't scale. You know, 4 or 5 people in a meeting, that was it. As I explained, to show you a slide later, we've had up to about, I think we had 40 people in one meeting at one point. And the other thing was, these approaches were very difficult to share capacity amongst different organizations. So we couldn't move to a sort of cloud-based offering. And the other thing is quality. Experience of using MCUs in video conferencing is it tends to take everything down to the lowest common denominator, whereas the modern approaches, you get the best you can, regardless of what other people are doing. And so we went for video. We standardized on video. It's a robust enterprise level solution. It's used by CERN in Switzerland, big corporates. US Department of Defense apparently has now the biggest single deployment of this. So it's secure application as well. And all the things I've talked about, the support for existing video conferencing endpoints, freely available desktop, web, and mobile client, with native web RTC, for those of you who know what that means video conferencing in the browser with no plugins, no downloads, no software. That'll be available towards the end of the year, early next year. And this is free at the point of use. So I say free, obviously someone's got to pay for it, but at the moment TENET is covering that from the reserves and what it charges the beneficiary organizations. That means that we can actually have a huge saving in terms of what it would cost for you all to go out and get that yourselves. We also have the option to integrate this with your institutional directory services. So we heard earlier about integrating Macs with directory services. We can do this. We've got SAML and LDAP integrations. And if you're interested, we can look at Skype for business integration as well. So you get free access to this. So all TENET beneficiary organizations, which means all universities, research councils, other organizations who get their internet connectivity through TENET are able to come on board with this. You get your own institutional TENET area where you can do some customization and integrate in your directory. We have in place 100 capacity for up to 100 concurrents from desktop and mobile endpoints running video, and up to 12 points of H323 bridging. We also have a record, replay streaming server, also offering full HD recording and streaming. And we also advise advice and guidance, training, help in speccing rooms, setting rooms up for video, telephone support and email support by the TENET SOC. And we also have escalation via the South African distributor through to video where we've got things that we can't deal with. So benefits, it's a cloud-like service. It's not rip and replace. You can get rid of, you could actually chuck out your old MCUs and when they come out of warranty or support and not pay that money anymore. That's what you wanted to do. Ability to host big meetings without loss of quality. I think this is absolutely crucial. And as I say, robust enterprise quality platform. So use cases, the sort of things you might want to do with this, you know, it's as long as your arm really. So teaching and learning is one, shared seminars, things like that between institutions. We've got some examples of that going on. Collaboration with external partners. All you have to do with video, if you're a registered user, you can generate a guest link, send it to people across anywhere in the world. They simply click on that. They put in they download a small plugin first time they use it, and then they join your meeting. It's as simple as that. So what that gives us is a common platform across higher education and research in this country, but also one that becomes a common platform for anybody else in the world you want to collaborate with. So other uses I can see: internal collaboration for teams in dispersed locations. If you've got research groups operating across multiple institutions, got a platform that you can bring them together. Admin meetings for institutions with split sites. I know some of you have many locations and people travel and stuff and all the wear and tear of that. Groups that meet together, say a professional network in a particular discipline where you've got people in different organizations. Outreach and dissemination, so the streaming server is very useful for that. And the nice thing about the streaming server is all you have to do is set up the meeting and enable it and send the link out to people. You don't need to bother your IT people to set up something like this. You could just do it from your desktop. Just do it. So mentoring and professional development is another key role. And also Vivers. I know that I think it's UP have set up a room, a place where people can undergo the ordeal by Viva, which some of you will have experienced in the past, I'm sure. And also things like HR interviews, applications interviews, things like that. And I know with the pressure on travel budgets and things, the ability to bring somebody in. And I think the point about this is because of the quality of the image you get, and I'll show you some slides of the sort of quality you can get, it's as good as having the person sitting in the room. Well, not quite, because you can't offer them a cup of tea, but in terms of facial expression, nuances of the way people hold themselves, it's as good as having them come for an interview. But you don't have to spend all that money flying them across the world or the country. So I said we talk about recent developments. I'm not going to go into the detail of what's on offer. We sort of, if you want to find out more about what's on offer, then come and talk to us afterwards. I suppose that the big change recently was the extension of further extension of full HD capacity. We've always had full HD capacity with video to video calls, but now we have extended out to the video gateway, which is what does the transcoding to H.323 and SIP. So we've got 12 ports, up to 12 ports of full HD connection, or the equivalent is sort of 21 ports of HD or 48 ports of SD, or some sort of mix of that. So that's really a big chunk of effectively an MCU in the cloud. So if you are a big Polycom or life-size shop, you could actually just use the TENET video gateway as a cloud MCU without needing to involve any video clients in the meeting at all. As I say, recording and streaming server, also running at full HD. We also now have an available pool of Video Room SE licenses. Now, Video make available a range of room codecs similar to the sort of things you might buy from Polycom in a way. They're badged, they're sort of locked down devices. You plug them in, you switch them on, they work. But you can also run the Video Room software as an application on a PC, and we recommend you get something like a fairly meaty i7 or something like that with a decent graphics card, and you can run the high-end video room system on your own PC. And we have now a pool of licenses available for you to use now. So if you want to investigate that or have a look at doing that, let us know and we can make the Video Room SE licenses available on your tenant area. The other thing we have put in place recently is a WebRTC server. This is an experimental thing. The trouble is it's still having to do transcoding from video's SVC to AVC, and so there's a limited number of ports, so connections available on that. So it's kind of experimental. If you want to experiment with it in your area, then let me know and we can make it available to you on a sort of experimental basis. Other developments for the sort of user side of thing, or what you'd see is the with Video Room SE now you can actually have. It used to be that it just took over the PC and it was like an appliance. Now you can have actually video stuff running on one screen and the Windows operating system running on the other. It means you can have access to the file system. There's a very nice new video remote for iOS tablets. Means you can control video room systems entirely from a touch screen, and more in-core controls than video desktop. So you can do things like mute remote mics and things like that. There's also support for new USB high-end cameras. That's USB 3, so no need for a capture device or anything, just straight through in USB 3 into the video codec or PC that you're using. And we've also published a video desktop getting started guide, which looks like this. And this is available on our video support site. And also we have hard copies, and we think it's a very nice thing for new users to have one of these because it tells them all the things they need to do, how to get into a meeting, how to invite other people into a meeting, what the meeting controls mean. And we have these available to send out to you. Just if you want a pack, let us know and we pop them in the post. I did send a whole lot out, and to my huge surprise, some of them actually got delivered. So there you go. The South African Postal Service does still work. I was quite surprised. Future plans coming up is native WebRTC and using SVC at the end of this year, maybe early next year. I would actually think probably early next year from the way they were saying. A new batch of room system units coming out, and better reporting and dashboards. And there's also hints of a sort of more simplified desktop client. but we'll see what happens with that. So I said I'd let you see some pictures show you some pictures of video in operation. This is in our boardroom in Weinberg. This is a big meeting. This was the big meeting. This was the Northwest University sponsored software data management thing. We've got people from all over the world there. This guy you can see is caught in mid-sentence. But this shows you, this is 16 video windows on one screen. And on the system we've got, you could actually have that replicating on the other screen. So you could have up to 32 video streams up at once, or 16 on one and content on the other. This is an auditorium at UP in the library, which is now equipped with video room. There's a video room. It's a very nice room. And think about, Henny said yesterday about acoustic damping and all the rest of it. It's got a very nice acoustic, I think. It feels nice and plush, put it that way. And we were going to use it for a training session, and then some trouble kicked off earlier in the year. This is a sort of example of a trolley system. Oh, sorry, go back there. This is down at Ames in Musenberg. Seems to be impossible that there was ever that warm that someone could sit there in a tank top, isn't it, really? But there you go. So these are the students there. They come from actually all over Africa. It's a fabulous place. And this guy's giving a lecture and writing on a board, and they're able to interact with him. So they have a trolley there. They can wheel it around to different classrooms and do things with it. This is a double trolley system at an MMU. They've got a couple of these now between George and PE, because you can imagine actually traveling between those two sites is not something you want to do on a regular basis. This is a double trolley system with a Logitech camera and everything. And again, that can be wheeled around. It can be locked up for safety when it's not in use. This is a single trolley system. This was also a day that I can hardly believe existed. This was so hot. This is up in Venda. Our friends at the University of Venda set this up for them. So it's a single trolley system showing, and this is a real image. This is not photoshopped. This is Jeff Hoy, some of you will know, and Wesley is there, and other people from from TENET in the boardroom in Weinberg. And it was not a posed photo. It just happened, actually. They just sort of all appeared and got into shot. This shows, actually, this is Shukri, one of our engineers, and he's just showing video in use as a single screen system with some content. There's our weather map and one of our SOC people and other people here on the call. And here's Paul, another engineer, showing video using two screens. And here, one of the nice things is if you're sharing content in video desktop, you can just double click the content and drag it onto a separate window, a separate screen, giving you a dual screen system on your desktop. So dual screen, HD, up to HD video conferencing system on your desktop. And look, I managed to get in that shot. Here's a small meeting room in our second meeting room. The office is also video equipped. People in a meeting there. And here's actually Marlene, our receptionist, demonstrating video running on a tablet. I put this slide in because it shows international links. This is one of the organizations we cohabit with, having a meeting with the Kenyan University's heads of institutions meeting there in a hotel in Mombasa. This guy's at the University of Nairobi. And I think the lighting's not terribly good in there, but the quality of the image coming from Mombasa is very good. So Nico gave a presentation, and then he had a Q&A, and he was able to have a very good debate with these people, simply because he could actually see them and interact with them. This is in the, this is what I was saying, UP. This is the where this guy's not doing a Viva. He's just showing the how the seat of pain. So I'm going to hand over to Wesley now to come tell you about support issues. And meanwhile, if you want to get in touch, there's video at tenet.ac.za, and my cell number there, for support, soc at tenet.ac.za. Yeah, we'll do questions with. Yeah. So just.
Okay. No. Is that better? Can you hear me from here? No. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna briefly go through the support role for video. So as you most know, everyone knows that people's moving away from the conventional method of meeting. I mean, this night conference can probably be something that happens quarterly, and there is times that it's necessary to meet face to face, but we can have this quarterly. We can meet face to face once a year, and the other 3 times we can meet via video. So there's a huge increase in the amount of people and clients and tenants that's taking video conferencing and using it, and we thought that it's going to be necessary to change the support structure as well. We're going above the conventional norms, whereas we don't only provide technical support, we'll be having routine connect sessions from whichever venue, and then we will just share the link where anyone that wants to participate can just join into that. The the problem with the computer and software and things and like this PCs and softwares is that it does what you tell it what it does what you tell it to do. But also um, the good thing about it is also that it does what you tell it to do. So software developers develop a program based on the user's needs. However, needs constantly change and grow. And these connect sessions that we plan on having is intended to address those things so that we're thinking of applying some basic economic principles, demand and supply, where we look at the demand from user ends and we can maybe adjust the platform of the system to be able to provide that to them. Okay, so in addition to this routine, this connect sessions that we're going to have, we've also got a blog. So the information that will be shared over there will be placed onto the blog, like frequently asked questions and answers, and also sharing best practices. I'm not sure who all attended Javi and Henny's um, chat yesterday also about communication. If we can have a platform like that, I suppose we're probably going to be setting a bar for everything else because we're going to be sharing a common interest in only video and developing a different platform and looking at the users' demands. And maybe all the universities can even get together in future using a type of system, a video conferencing system, to look at other things as well. So besides that we're going to be providing those connect sessions, the normal support will also be providing. At the moment now, we will even help you set up your first meeting. uh, in future it might not be possible for us to physically be in that meeting, but we'll continuously provide support during the course of the meeting, and support also at looking at your environments of where you're going to be having your meetings. We can even maybe recommend the certain audio visual hardware that's required depending on what your intentions are in the meeting and the environment of the meeting. So we've changed, just a slight change to the normal escalation process to our other services that we provide, is that the first level support, we wanted to be the administrators or the IT department within the certain institution. If they are unable to resolve the issue, then they'll refer it to the SOC. From the SOC, the SOC is a Service Operation Center. We were working directly with Rob as well. If you get no feedback from us, you can refer to the SOC manager, which is Michelle Wilson. She's also here. And alternatively, we will send it through to Vidyo if we are unable to assist. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't know if you have any questions regarding support or anything that Rob said.
Yeah. Just, I asked earlier, anybody who, so the people who haven't used video in your institution, is this something based on what you've heard today or what you know? Is this something you want to take forward? Is this something we can help you? Please let us know of the ways we can help you. Okay. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the streaming server, the video replay will stream. There's actually about a 20-second delay on it, so it's not sort of live, but it's about 20-second delay, which is the time it takes to sort of decode the stream and push it out again. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean. The video replay webcast comes out as a stream, which actually is a flash. It's actually the moment flash based in the browser. Yeah. You can then download, once a recording is made, you can download it as a MP4 file and edit that and do what you will with it and put it on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, single sign-on's a bit difficult. You can, there is integration. There's a number of options. You can do an integration with Active Directory or other directory structures through LDAP or SAML if you've got an IDP set up. One of the things we're going to explore the second half of this year is looking at putting a SAML proxy in front of it so that maybe we can make this work with Sapphire. That would be my ideal, would be to have this actually working with Sapphire. And then actually we would just have a single system and people wouldn't have to we wouldn't have to bother the administrators within the institutions to look after users and stuff. But we have some examples both of Active Directory integration and SAML integration, so we know we can do it now, and it's possible. And that's nice because then your users simply self-provision. They depending on which thing they just log in and the user is created for them using their existing credentials. Okay. Any other questions? So, I mean, what I would say to you is Vidyo is very easy to use. If you haven't already got an account, if you drop that address, Vidyo at TENET or SOC at TENET, an account in the appropriate tenant can be created for you and you can start experimenting with it, okay? And then, and we'll be holding a further training session probably in a couple of months' time. Okay, thank you very much. I think it's lunchtime.
Thank you very much, Rob, Wesley.